What's going on, guys? It's Matt Pinella with Matt Bangswood. We are here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the International Builders Show 2025 to bring you guys the first official event coverage. We have booths inside, outside, and everything in between to check out. Today's video is sponsored by Sierra Pacific Windows. Let's get into it. Now, the first stop at our International Builders Show tour is Sierra Pacific Windows. The reason behind that is these are the windows that I'm using on the 1926 remodel that you guys are watching currently. These windows are beautiful and it's gonna set the tone for that house. We have a nice black finish going in and it's gonna pop. But I've got Sarah from Sierra Pacific Windows. It's gonna explain a handful of things to you guys about what they have to offer. So let's get into that. Today I'm here with Sarah Campbell from Sierra Pacific Windows and she's gonna explain a handful of things that Sierra Pacific Windows offers. So what do we got going on?
Well, Matt, I'm glad you asked because we got some pretty cool products to show you this year. First, we have our new direct set. The nice thing about this is it's a standard picture window, but nothing standard about this. Really clean, really cool sight lines, very modern, very contemporary. But the surprise is on the other side. Let's go check it out. So at the touch of a button, Matt, this is called click glass.
Oh, wow.
And it's that glass that at the touch of a button, you can go completely opaque and then completely clear.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So this would be like a bathroom application or like any sort of privacy setup.
Yeah, I would say front door system too, bathroom
Okay.
application, or if you really want to go big, you can do it in a big grand room of the back of your house too, if you need that privacy. And what's really neat about this is it's liquid crystal technology. So when the charge is on, so when the electricity is applied, it's clear, and then when you take the electricity off or switch the glass off is when it's opaque. So it's nice to know if you ever did lose power in your house, you wouldn't lose your privacy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's check out the next thing. So this is our Timberlight 2.0. This is our 2-inch timber curtain wall. Mostly what we were seeing timber curtain walls used for was commercial applications,
Yeah.
but we were getting a high volume of people wanting this in their high-end residential homes. So we engineered and designed a 2-inch system. So if you take a look, it's a true 2-inch mullion on the outside. So the nice thing about this is that there's no structural mulling. So you're not gonna see any mull connections or connectors. So it's a really clean sight line from top to bottom. Right now we're showing this at 14 feet, but we can actually go 20 feet in one direction with one of these beams. And we're showing this in white oak, which is our glue lamb, but we also do a Doug fir veneer.
And everything here is taken care of by Sierra Pacific,
Yes,
right? Because
yes.
you guys have not only the window division, but the mill as well?
Exactly, exactly. And the nice thing is that when you bring your design to us, we're gonna help to engineer what's correct for the structural needs. So based off of the wind load, the exposure, where your house is going to be and located, so we take a lot of the ease.
So you would just have a massive RO and you guys fill that in structurally and make sure that everything's
That's
down.
the right idea. So just give us an opening, Matt, and we're gonna be able to design whatever the heck you want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then you gotta peep out this big 10-foot door. The nice thing about this door is that you're also going to see a custom detail. So if you have a custom grid pattern that you're interested in, something that's really inspiring to you, bring it to us and we're gonna be able to create and design that front door system just how you want it.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
This is huge.
Yeah.
And it gets bigger.
pretty big. Let's check out the last key feature of our booth. So we're changing the game with the patio slider this year. This is our direct set patio slider. So gone are the days or just the side-by-side 50-50 front to side. This is actually gonna offer you the opportunity to be able to offset your patio slider. So if you have a big opening that you want to fill, you can take your big direct glaze, place your operable sliding panel, and be able to fill that opening.
So instead of your typical 1-to-1 or your 1, 2, 3 panels all matching, you have this big open glass with the slider as well. That's nice.
So picture this, Matt. You've got your Timberlight in your front entry door system. You got your new direct set patio slider at the back of your house. And then in your big custom bathroom, you got all your click glass.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's the perfect home right there. I think this is perfect for a lot of people too that want a big open space in the back patio area but don't want a ton of glass that's going to open up.
Absolutely.
I love the big glass look here. Nothing disturbing it too. That's beautiful. This is really nice. So Sarah walked us through a lot of what Sierra Pacific Windows has to offer. It's quite incredible what they have. The reason we went with Sierra Pacific on our house was due to being able to customize and have different finishes. So we have a black finish going on all the windows at the 1926 project, and it's gonna make that place pop. Not only that, when you get a higher quality window, they're gonna shut smoother, they're gonna lock smoother, everything about the install goes better. That's why we went with Sierra Pacific. So now that we're done at Sierra Pacific Windows, it's time that we start our 2025 International Builders Show coverage. We're heading outside. They have quite a few cool things out here. They have an A-frame cabin that I wanna check out, modular building. This is where Boxable's been in the past. Let's check it out and see what they got. A modular building here. When Boxable first premiered out here, it was a big hit. I think a lot of people have caught on to that. So we're seeing tiny homes, little prefab units and stuff like that. That's what this is. You can tell by the covering on the walls and the ceiling. This thing will get pieced together. This one's pretty nice. Still kind of feels like a trailer. The problem that I have with modular stuff is oftentimes the build quality is not as high. You can kind of feel that inside of here. Still a pretty cool unit, but we're caulked all the way up the corner here, all the way through here in the bath. Pretty cool. So we're priced at $120 a square foot on something like this. That's what it says, price per builder. Traditionally, a home, if you wanted to stick frame something and build slab on grade or even raised foundation, you would be minimum like $200 to $250. So at $120 a square foot, it's quite a bit cheaper. The problem with that is a stick-built home will appreciate over time because it's going to last. Whereas something like this may be a depreciating asset similar to a mobile home, for what it's worth. There is, I don't know the name of it, Zook cabins over here. One of my next projects, I'm looking at 15 acres to build out a big A-frame cabin. I would love to build out something in the middle of the woods, and I might get some inspiration from this. Now this is a little bit different than what we're after. I want to do something similar except for with like a stone veneer on the face, similar 12 and 12 pitch, big open windows, nice dark colors. So the black fascia board, the black roofing. Roof comes all the way down to the ground, similar to this one right here. Let's check it out and see what they got. This is pretty cool. Hello. How could you not want something like this? I want to build something just like this. That 15-acre property is a perfect spot for a big, it could be an Airbnb, it could be just a primary house, but this design is beautiful. You can also close this off. We've got these ceiling joists running across here. You can close that off and have an additional living up top, do a bedroom. There's a ton of options, but this is about the size that I want to build. So that was Zook cabins that we just walked through here. Pretty cool build, modular system. The prices ranged. You guys saw those up on the screen. Kind of a cool option. If you're into an ADU, need something like that, check it out. We've seen like 8 different modular buildings. The whole outdoor exhibit is practically competition with Boxable. Some of the quality is great, some of it lacks heavily. I have no idea what's behind us, but let's go check it out and see what they've got. I don't know if this is just a model home built with their product. This is actually really nice. This feels like a home. Modular build to rent. This is actually really cool. Similar to what we saw over there. This has to be stick frame though. Looks like 2x6 walls, but the building actually itself feels good. We have drywall, we have corners that are taped and mudded. It feels like a house. Check out the kitchen. Oh yeah. This is really, really nice. You have a nice pantry space. Kitchen cabinets are nice. They have a wine rack over there. The living room. Big double door, French door going out. Look at this bathroom in comparison. This is what we're seeing in modular, is a lot of low quality and a lot of really high quality. I'm glad to see this. Wall coverings are similar. Doesn't feel all that great, but this feels like a house. You have a laundry room, mini splits up there from Bosch, and a little garage. I want to know more about this, but this is the closest thing to a real home that I've seen modular be able to pull off. Now that's a wrap on the outdoor exhibits. This year, we are overloaded with modular living. We have a ton of different systems out there. Some really high quality, some really low quality, some fairly cheap, and some close to $1 million. We're heading inside. We're going to Central Hall. That's where all the big heavy hitting companies are. We're gonna see what they've got inside, check out some booths and more. So we're now in Central Hall. Let's cruise around, see what we can find. We've got anything and everything. And since we're in the middle of this renovation right now, stuff like this does apply to me, which is pretty cool. So we're looking while we're here for finishes on the house. We're looking at new products that we haven't used before. We've built a handful of houses that have elevators. It's pretty crazy to see how far things have come. The first one I ever framed was like 2014 to what we have here. This is more of like a little tube, and it's more so for comfort, being able to go from first story up to second. I don't know how exactly this thing works. Elevators in custom remodels, custom home builds are typically pretty expensive. He was just telling me that that unit right there, granted it's a 1 to 2 person and it only goes up from the first to the second story. That unit right there is about $70,000 installed and done. Now, one of the biggest things about elevators is you have to have the bottom built out, whether it be with a subfloor or in a concrete slab. You have to recess it to where the elevator comes down and flushes out when you walk out. But $70,000 installed for an elevator is pretty cheap. So we have West Fraser with a cool little structural detail here. You can see up here they're demonstrating a few different ways. Now granted, I have framed both ways. I have framed where we've got that red filler strip up there and I have strapped over it. But what they're showing here on the left-hand side is running a taller panel all the way down from the plate clear up to the top plate on the second story. That eliminates that connection and gives you a solid connection so you don't have to have those CS16 straps. Check out the inside. They've also got floor trusses in here, a little bit different. I'd like to build something. I haven't used floor trusses much at all. On the back side there, you have a TGI, it's shaped like an eye, a little truss joist. And then on this side here, you have floor trusses. The benefit to using floor trusses as opposed to a TGI system is you have the webbing, just like a truss, that allows you to fit all your HVAC, electrical, any mechanical, anything up in there with ease. You can even see a chase going all the way down through the middle that you could run ducting. But their highlight on this show seems to be this advanced sheathing method. I don't know that it's really that advanced. It's just tying things together and not having hardware. But same thing on this side as well. So one thing we've been looking at a lot with that remodel going on is our exterior finishes and what we have available for that. Keep in mind, in areas where the climate's really cold, using something like a vinyl or an aluminum like we've got here can be a great option. That's why a lot of the fascia board in that area is wrapped. That's why we have a lot of aluminum soffits, things like that. I'm going to be changing that house up quite a bit. We're doing an LP Smart Side on it, but this is a really sleek finish. It's a completely different world for me. I wouldn't even know how to install it, but this product looks really good. So now listen, I know I need to finish one project before I start on another, but on the topic of this big A-frame cabin out in the woods, I am at General Shale. I don't know if Wienerberger is the company name or what that is, but I was just talking with one of the reps here and looking at the thin and thick option for like a brick veneer, and this stuff is pretty slick. They have a grip of different options, and he's telling me that starting out we're looking at like $6 a foot. For comparison, James Hardie LP, both of their typical sidings, basic off the shelf, are about $6, $7 a foot. So price wise, this isn't all that bad. And look at this picture up here. This is the type of finish you're getting. That is a beautiful, beautiful home. I like it. I'm gonna keep it in mind. Found Simpson Strong-Tie. We're gonna go check out everything they've got. So we have a handful of things that I wanna show you guys here. We have the truss fastening solutions here. Typically on a truss roof, connecting the truss down to the top plate, we have an H1. That's that hurricane tie. The other option is an H2.5, which is a little twisty, and it's half of an H1. But the screw system that they've got here allows you to go up from the bottom angle of the top plates and screw into the truss, and that replaces that H1. The best part about this is, one, you don't have a hardware nailer, and two, you're able to walk around with a screw gun and just screw them in. So now check it out. This is the system that we're talking about here. This right up here, if you were doing it by hand, you would set this up against the plates, and the angle of the screw would go in right here, and that's gonna go up through your top plates and connect to that bottom of the truss. That's gonna replace your H1. Now the coolest part about it is you take something like this, put that up to your top plates there, screw on up, and you could do this all while standing on the ground. So right now we're looking at the quick drive system from Simpson Strong-Tie. Now this is a $100 attachment that you're gonna be able to attach to literally any drill. Check this out. Mounts there at the bottom, goes up. This is all fully adjustable regardless of what drill you use. And then you are feeding in what looks to me like 2.5-inch structural screws. Now the cool part is if you were screwing down a floor system, you'd be able to just pull the trigger, hold it wide open, and go all day long. You're not bent over. This would have came in handy when I was screwing down my subfloor. But pretty cool tool, that quick drive attachment from Simpson Strong-Tie, $99. You really can't beat that. Now another thing at Simpson Strong-Tie, they're constantly leveling up, constantly putting out some pretty crazy stuff. We're looking at the Easy Frame from Simpson Strong-Tie. Now this little box right here has a saw with the capability of cutting all the way up onto a 45-degree angle, probably more. Similar to how trusses get made with a bunch of computer programs. Over here, we have an automated marking system that's gonna go through and mark out every single thing on a wall. So as we go back over here, we're able to see this 2x4. We have a stud here, 103.5. We have 2 studs here. We have all the info up on the top here. So it tells you what sheathing you're gonna be using. It tells you the square as well. It's going to be 110 and 15/16 pulling corner to corner. The point with this would be similar to when we start a rough framing project and we plate in detail. We want as much on the plates as possible. This would allow you to do that before even stepping foot on a project. So they take a CAD file, load it in, cut the whole entire plate, then send it out to a job site. They were telling me that a machine like this can start at around 90 and go up to 200,000, but speeds up production. Would you guys use something like this? So we're on our way over to the Huber booth. ABC Building Supply is here, and typical trade show. They know what to bring in order to get people over here. I could see myself on one of those, riding a hog. They have some VR driving here. Let's go check out how he's doing. He's not gonna make it. Definitely not a truck driver. Enough of that. Go check out Huber. So Huber's booth is by far the place to be. There's a ton of stuff in here. All the way along this back section, they have all their different sheathing types. We have the NovaCore, which is their fire-rated sheathing. So this is gonna be used in place of like a Den's glass, but still give you that struck value that you need and stand up to that fire. We have the Advantech X Factor right there. That is a floor sheathing that's gonna give you the most insane durability. You're also airtight, watertight. You would tape it like you would the regular sheathing. We have Advantech here, which is the traditional sheathing that I've used on my floor systems. And then our wall sheathings over here. You have your 1/2 inch, your 5/8, and then your 7/16. But this place is popping. There's a lot of people here. Let's keep cruising around, see what we can find. So since we used LP on the building and we have it going on the house, I want to go check out their booth. We might be able to find Kyle or somebody else in here. A lot of what LP has to offer is like a pre-finished panel. This would come painted. This is complete. You would just install the stuff. I'm not used to doing that. With Hardie, we have to paint everything. So I'm more towards getting a primed material, priming all my cuts, and then painting it afterwards. So depending on how long you guys have watched the channel, the LP flame block right up over there, that was the material that we used on the winery like 6 or 7 years ago. And that has a white coating on the outside. That's going to prevent that sheathing from directly catching fire. We've also got the LP Tech Shield right over there, which is that radiant barrier sheathing. That's going to keep that attic a lot cooler. Reflects most of that, puts it right back out the roof system. I haven't used their legacy floor sheathing all that much, and I've never used the Weather Logic, but this has been a pretty popular thing with quite a few builders. This is similar to a zip product, so you have a built-in WRB in that product there. You're going to tape all your joints, tape all your horizontals, your verticals, and more, and then you could attach your siding direct to it. Look who we've got, the man himself,
What?
Mr. LP.
No, dude, I just saw you talking about NovaCore or what?
Oh, I was talking about this sheathing over here, the Weather Logic.
Yeah. Well, do you see the NovaCore too?
No, and that's
That's got the insulation, man. So it's going to get your continuous R value that a lot of the codes are requiring now.
Are you using that as well?
Yeah, just used it on my first house. So it's
You side directly over that?
side. Yeah, you side. Well, right now it's that's the foam goes in, and you get your continuous R value, and then you just install it like normal sheathing and put your siding right over it.
So something Kyle was explaining to us is the R5 NovaCore right here, which is actually in partnership with Owens Corning, which I think is pretty cool. That's going to be a panel on the backside there, but what looks to be about 3/4 inch of foam, giving them that R5 continuous all the way around the building. Depending on where you're at, the buildings that you have now, building code changes all the time, has to have a continuous insulation all the way around. Prevents that thermal bridging, and that is how they are making it happen. Huberwood has a similar product. They have that R sheathing that allows you to get the same insulation factor, but cool that LP's doing it as well. I wanted to check out their siding, see who we could find here. We ran into Kyle. Let's keep it going. So now we are at the James Hardie booth. The siding that they've got on here is that Artisan B groove. It is a trick little siding. The problem is that it's quite costly. So a typical siding from James Hardie will run you about $6, $7 a foot. This stuff's over double, but it looks really nice. This is the best example right here. On this Artisan siding, you're not gonna have a corner piece of trim. You actually miter with 45s all the way through, and that's how you get that corner. You would then caulk it, paint it, and it'd be done. Those are really hard to work with, especially if you're building corners out of plumb whatsoever. But James Hardie has quite a bit to offer. We're now at the Home Depot booth. Now Home Depot has been dedicated for years to improving the trades, helping the next generation. They have the Path to Pro, which allows you to have job postings and a ton of other stuff. We're gonna cruise through here. I don't know that there's a whole lot that we can look at, but give you guys an idea of what their booth looks like. Dude, I can't even get through there. That was so packed. They got a big truck out here, a big flatbed. But there's really not much for us to look at Home Depot. They gave away a Milwaukee pack out, which was kind of cool. But no product, just a bunch of information about their Path to Pro and other stuff. So let's keep it moving. They got a really cool booth though. I got to give it to them. We're at the House Pro booth right now. This place is always packed. They have a ton of different computers set up, running people through the software, showing them the ins and outs, how it can help their business. We have an all-in-one construction management tool that allows you to run your business better, get paid easier, and overall make business easier. Now, as you guys are watching this, I have a presentation at 12 to 1 today. I'm also giving away $2,500 in tools here at the booth. All you have to do is come by, get your badge scanned, and you're good to go. Entered to win $2,500. We've got some DeWalt tools, some tool belts, and more. You don't want to miss it. So they have this booth set up that ultimately shows you the ins and outs of House Pro from start to finish inside of here. Every step of the way, all your selections, demo, bringing people in, getting paid, and more. Pretty rad. So right over here we have SIPS panels, and this is a method of construction more like a prefabricated where you're putting together full roof assembly. So if you look up here, you can see the 2x10 rafter comes down. You have all that foam behind it there. The way that these roofs are built and put together, you'll have a whole panel that gets assembled, prefabbed on the ground, and it gets flown in a single piece. You could do it with floor systems as well, and you have incredible insulation values through there. Go check it out a little bit more. Panels up to 24 foot long, superior load capacities. You can see their overall assembly here. We have a fascia board down here on the bottom. You could add another one. We have a rain screen. We have our felt there, and then our roof sheathing up here. In here, you've got all that foam. So this comes prefabbed as this big panel, and you'll hook them up with a little hook, crane them into place, and set them on. Pretty cool. I've never gotten the chance to build with them, but would definitely like to in the future. The best part about renovating my own house is now I'm a door handle shopper. So I get to look at stuff like this. Like I like that right there. That little finish on the outside, that is looking good. That's the style we're going for. We have, I forget what it really is. It's like a brass or a bronze showing through. I also really like the gold. That's sleek. We were in the middle of walking to South Hall to go talk to Jared Kaufman, and I spotted this compass with a motorcycle on it, and I think that's going to be the icing on the cake for our 1926 renovation. Check this thing out. Handcrafted. That's beautiful. Like this, when I eventually build my dream home, I'll have that in the front. But I would really like them to make me some copper numbers for the front of the 1926 place. So I am here at the Stiletto booth with a good friend of mine, longtime friend, Jared Kaufman with Kaufman Construction.
What up?
Links for his channel are in the description, but he's going to walk us through this Stiletto booth here, talk to us a little bit more about the tools, what he's using, what he likes, and more. Take the lead, brother.
All right. Well, the first thing that they're showcasing that's pretty rad is the custom colors. In particular, the murdered out one is so sick. I want it really bad. Hint, hint. They're basically introducing this. I mean, it makes sense. Pretty much every other premium hammer brand has it already.
Yeah.
So now they're just being able to compete in the more custom and customizable side, which is pretty sick. What's new with this one as opposed to the previous ones is you can switch out the grip now, which is nice.
Same thing with the head as well, because I'm seeing a screw in here.
Yeah, you can use this fancy dancy thing here, threads right through the back, and you can switch out smooth.
So you can go from a smooth to a waffle or like a dead blow or something?
Yeah, or a new waffle too.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be ghetto and redo it with a grinder like me. I'm probably gonna get a murdered out one because I'm a big fan.
What's cost on these?
Cheaper than others. I think they're sub 300, I'm pretty sure, which is a lot to pay for a smacking device. I always say it's not because you need it, it's because you want it, kind of thing. A lot of guys talk about the like vibration and like the impact on your elbow from hammers.
Your tennis elbow and stuff.
I don't really follow all that very much. I don't really think the elbow pain is a real thing. I think that has more to do with how you're using the hammer as opposed to the hammer itself.
That's fair.
Personally. Anyways.
What else they got here?
They got the speed square. Let me show you that. So this is, I think they call it the bomber square or something because it kind of looks like the stealth bomber thing, the cutout in the middle. It's kind of rad.
Ah, I gotcha.
But I've actually, the first time I held this, I thought it was like, I mean, it is. It's bulky and heavy, you know? But the more I've used it, I actually really, really like it. The main thing I found that I like, on the 1.5 inch marks, you can see they're set back like about a 16th, because that's like one of the biggest things with squares when people are doing layouts. There's compound effect basically from doing 1.5 inch layouts.
Off where it's a 16th and 8th, whatever it may be.
Exactly. So I'm just going to go in the middle of these. It's like you can account for the thickness of your pencil line, but what else is nice is because it goes all the way up to 4.5, I'm not even looking at the 1.5 inch, I'm now going from 3.5, and I can now go from 4.5.
So you can mark out your channels and things like that.
Exactly, and you'll be way more accurate, and they even go all the way up to 5.5 there. Another thing, I'm a for 5-point lasers, as you know. Please don't cut that out of the video, YouTube. But
we'll leave it.
So I use like plumb dot lasers all the time, and the one that I really like, it levels at exactly 3 inches above the ground. So if I'm leveling the floor or posts or anything, I can set this. We've got these marks on the heels.
I see what
you can see that. Plus the green laser shows up really, really well
on that black.
Yeah. A couple of my buddies have the aluminum Martinez squares, and they fade like crazy fast. And these are way more durable. Like the coatings on it and everything. I've been using mine for probably 1.5 years, and
stays good for a while.
I've had zero wear on it so far.
You don't have a problem with this fence being as thick as it is?
I thought I would, but I don't really at this point.
That's a bulky square.
It is. It's chunky. That was my main complaint when I first saw it, but the pros outweigh the cons, in my opinion.
We've got this back wall to check out here. I've never built a custom hammer like this, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give away a Stiletto hammer. I don't swing a Stiletto, I won't buy one, but I'll buy one for you guys. Comment down below. Can be anything. Something about the show, something you enjoyed, something you didn't enjoy. You're entered to win. We'll pick a giveaway winner.
Enter now. One thing I'll point out is if you look at their other wood handles, their replacement wood handles are a much more comfortable profile to like hold. Like those ones are like thick and bulky, like some of the hammers you might see at Home Depot or something. And these feel more slim, like a typical, like a more comfortable wood-handled framing.
Are these prices accurate? It's $10 for a replacement handle?
I guess it's the show special, according to the tag.
That is cheap.
I don't know what the normal cost is.
I had a Deluge that I swung for a while, and the replacement handle for that thing was super hard to come by, and it was expensive.
Yeah.
$10 is pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Well, thank you for showing us around the Stiletto booth, giving us the down low on the square here.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's Jared Kaufman approved. Thanks for cruising around though. That's gonna be our wrap on our 2025 International Builders Show coverage. We showed you guys all kinds of stuff inside the show, outside the show, exterior finish, interior finish, different fixtures, the modular systems outside, and the Sierra Pacific windows that we're using on my 1926 renovation. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Keep building, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.